Hi everybody, and welcome to something new I want to try. This is American Truck Simulator, and what I'm doing is I'm just going to record me playing the game and just driving, and there's not going to be any camera, there's not going to be any microphone, mostly because I remember when my ex-husband drove over the road, I could not for the life of me stay awake with the diesel engine going. It always knocked me right out. So, my hope is that maybe if you're someone who likes a little background noise when you go to sleep, you're like me, the diesel engine just drops you off to sleep, these videos will help with that immensely. So for this video I am doing a voiceover, but videos afterwards will not have any commentary unless I decide to do basically a summary video, which will probably be done for every 10 levels that I level up, so that we can go over like what has changed with this little trucking company that we are building. Now, to tell you a little bit about American Truck Simulator, it has been on the market for some time. The game was gifted to me by my ex-husband. His gamer tag is in the credits. I'm not going to tell you because, yeah, no. But I do still enjoy the game. It is still a fun game. And right now they are adding just territories a little bit at a time. You know, just little things here and there. So we're not quite at the East Coast yet, but you can pick which state you start in, given that you have all of the DLCs. Now here you see me picking my favorite truck, and I always go for the Kenworth W9. That truck is just classic. I grew up on Smokey and the Bandit, and I think for a while we had a neighbor that had a Kenworth W9, and he let me and my brothers crawl in it and look around. So for me, the W9 is just the most perfect, amazing truck. Just because it has some sentimental value to myself. And so, first job, you will always be driving whichever truck is your favorite. And I will say this every time. Until you get your own truck in the game, if you choose to play this, if you find these videos entertaining, adjust your seat and your mirrors. It changes everything. Just like in real life, every vehicle you get into, you want to adjust things to what you like. Same with this. You want to adjust the mirrors and the seat and everything to what you want. Now, going back to talking about ATS, it has been on the market since 2016. Almost 10 whole years. And it has easily been one of the developers' most popular games. These are the same developers that made Euro Truck Simulator, or ATS, SCS software. And they're phenomenal. I have to give credit. They get very, very detailed, and they put out such good games. And I do run mods. And these are just the Steam approved mods off the Steam Workshop. And so you'll see me adding stuff that is not base game, it's all mods. And here I'm just adjusting my buttons, because I'm playing with a controller. I don't have a steering wheel and pedals and everything. So if my driving is not perfect, you should keep that in mind. I'm doing my best with an old Xbox controller and just working with what I have, honestly. And I try to keep my buttons the same. I do play this game on stream. I have 3 different trucks that I cycle through on it. But this profile will not be on stream. It will be strictly YouTube, and for the purpose of creating that background noise for those that need it. And of course, I'm still figuring out my buttons, and I wanted to show that process. And just in case you want to play it and you're playing like me, you're playing with an old controller, you can see which buttons, how I have it set up. You can set it up however you want. It's entirely up to you. These are the buttons that make the most sense to me. Like, it makes no sense for the horn to be that button when I'm used to playing like Need for Speed and all that, and I'm used to the bumpers being your blinkers, all that goodness. Now, you do see I have the left bumper and A for left turn blinker. For some reason it would not let me just set it to left bumper. But that's okay. I can adapt. I can get used to things. It's just part of the process and part of being alive. You will on occasion hear me hit the air horn. This game gets very immersive for me, and I do wind up feeling like I'm actually on the road, kind of just driving. And honestly, as a former school bus driver, you'd be amazed how often you see people just do things and you're like, did you not think before you did that? And I think a lot of times we get in our own heads. Driving can be a very good place to clear your thoughts, get things sorted out in your head, and you forget to pay attention to what's going on around you. And I'm going to stop yapping for a little bit and let you guys just enjoy the game. warning for anyone who's never played this game, never watched anyone play it. When you get to your destination, you have 3 options for delivering the load. Now, you'll see me a lot of times kind of go with one that doesn't involve backing up. And a lot of that comes right back to my training as a school bus driver. I got used to how they react to backing up, and I have to shift my mind when it comes to backing up a truck and trailer, because the trailer is going to do the opposite of what I think it's going to do. So, oftentimes you will see me avoid it, but on occasion you'll see me latch onto that. Let me back it up and get better at this. I don't know what's going on with the audio here. Genuinely don't. And so, as we're approaching our destination, I'm telling myself, if it's a back that is near impossible and I'm going to get frustrated, I'm just going to skip it, because I don't play these games to get frustrated. I play them to relax and just kind of let the worries melt away a little bit, which is something driving does for me IRL. Now, one thing the developers did different is, in a situation like this, you wouldn't have a red arrow, it would just be empty and you'd be able to make this turn. But in game, if you try to make this turn now, you will get fined. And as you see, we don't really have a lot of money, so you want to follow the laws of the road as they are in the game, not as they are IRL. Just to save a little money, just to keep growing your budding little trucking company. And this game does do a good job of showing you going from a driver who's just doing what's called in the industry slip-seating, slipping out of one truck and hopping into another to make money. And eventually you become drop and hook, as it's called, where you have the truck but now you're just hauling whatever trailer will get the bills paid. And then eventually you build your own company, you can get your own trailers, all that goodness. This is where me playing with a controller kind of comes into play, is it stops way faster than I think it should. And that is something you can set. You can turn off the engine brake, but then you don't get that Jake brake rumble that is just, with certain trucks, absolutely a wonderful sound. Unless you're trying to go to sleep and you hear it going by your house. But with the W9, that Jake brake is just, it adds an extra rumble that, for me, scratches an itch in my brain. And so now we're coming up to our destination, and here you want to stop right about like I'm stopped. Well, a little closer than that. And here you go. Here you have your options. Now that looks simple, right? Looks really easy. Till you look around and realize the map does not show you all the obstacles, like all those trailers that are there. I have to put this trailer in between 2 trailers with a 3rd trailer blocking me from being able to just pull it in and park. Which is what option 2 is, which is let's play it safe. You just, it's an easier option. And there's no wrong way to do it. You can choose to give yourself the challenge. You can choose to just, keep it simple, play it safe. Or you can just skip it entirely, but then you don't get this bonus, which gives you way extra XP. And again, see, the map did not show all these obstacles, which really add to the challenge. And so and right there is where I mess up multiple times, is I assume if I turn it all the way to the left, it will swing like the truck is doing. It will swing the back end to the right, and that's not what it's doing. Now this is called a blind side back. As you see, the mirrors are utterly useless in this situation. And y'all get to watch me just struggle so hard with getting this trailer in that spot. Because I keep making the same mistake over and over and over. And that is something I'm working on so that I can actually park these trailers and get them in there and really get that XP going. And here I just skip it and we go to job complete. And if you get all that extra XP, it would easily jump you straight into level 1. But as I chose to skip it, I just was like, I'm not about to sit here and fight with it. I'm going to get frustrated. Let me just skip it. Perfectly valid. Nothing wrong with that at all. And I'm just letting you guys take in the screen. So I just got the base reward, which was a little less than $2,000 and 79 XP. But I got it there on time with no damage, which damages do cost you. Now here we do get to name our company, we get to pick the logo. I hadn't figured out how to upload custom logos. If anybody knows how to do that, feel free to let me know, and I will gladly find a way to create a custom logo for this one. So you see me just kind of picking my logo, and as much as I like that logo, I decided to name it instead. And back to the logos, because I'm indecisive. I'm very indecisive. And I think I had an idea of what I wanted to name it, but none of the logos really matched. I wound up going with that one, and here we name the company. Where did we name it? Come on, start typing. Not me talking to my past self. Yeah, you can pick any name you want. They don't really censor anything, so you can go with literally any name you want for your company. And it's just, it really, again, immerses you in the idea you're building a company. Now, if only the in-game money translated to IRL money, we'd all be sitting prettier. And I'm still sitting there, obviously debating. I'm not now, because, like, this is weeks later that I'm doing this voiceover. But I did wind up naming it Red Dog Express. Now, if that is an actual company, I am so sorry to anybody that drives for them or whatnot. But that was the only name that came to mind. Here's our first garage. And it's not impressive. Not really. But you can upgrade it, and you can buy other garages. I would recommend focus on the state you start in. Get a garage in every town for that state. For this, we started in Texas, so that's a pretty big undertaking. And then just start moving to bordering states. So, like, if I had Louisiana, the Louisiana DLC, and I got every garage in Texas, I would move to Louisiana, or I could move to Arkansas or Oklahoma. Any of the bordering states, especially if we want to get immersive. Or, and mostly that's going to be for the benefit of future drivers that you hire. And so here I'm driving the Freightliner Cascadia. This is my first time driving this truck in-game. I don't know what to expect out of it. So I'm very confused. There's also like email and there's a bank, and you can online buy used trucks and whatnot. And so here you see I forgot to do the one thing I said you should always do, and that is adjust your mirrors. And so quickly I'm adjusting my mirrors and setting them where I can see just barely see the back end of the trailer. That way I can know, like, if I'm turning correctly and if I'm able to safely make that turn. Again, a very immersive game. And you can also determine, like, do you want both UI mirrors up? I always recommend having the one on the right up, because if you adjust everything right, you don't really need the one on the left. You can see out of the mirror. Here you see me adjusting the field of view, which really I could have just adjusted the seat back for that. But you see me adjust it to where I can see that mirror on the left. And with the narrow space up there that we're about to have to pull out of, I desperately needed that mirror. I so badly needed it. And of course you can adjust the steering wheel, you can shift your person to the middle of the truck, which kind of defeats the purpose of a simulator, which is to immerse you in the game. I just keep going through the adjustments. Now, I did start in Texas, mostly because I live further east, and I kind of use the game to really explore the U.S., just because travel is expensive. Whoop, and there I pressed the wrong button and hit the air horn. I didn't expect it to be that loud. And also, feel free to use like the environment. You can absolutely pull off road if you have to make a turn. Thankfully, I didn't have to this time. I'm just hauling tires. And God, I want to say this is Galveston, and if this is accurate, this is absolutely gorgeous. And I can't wait one day to be able to really explore the country in real life and just see everything about it. Now I'm going to shut up again, and you will hear me at the end talking a little bit more. more frustrating aspects of the game is the way stations. You don't hear it because I didn't use my mic, but every time I get pulled into one of these, I just start absolutely, not really raging, but I'm definitely cursing and calling them names, and they can be frustrating for drivers IRL. There's one just north of my town. My ex-husband used to say all the time, if he was coming south, they would pull him in with one certain company because they knew what he was hauling. And what they're doing is they're looking to see, is the load safe? Is it secured right? And no matter how many times it is, they always pulled that company's trucks through the weigh station. And every time he had a few choice words that he wasn't going to say to them, but it was muttered under his breath, because they can be frustrating. They add time, and you want to get the load where it needs to go on time. Now you'll see on the map that little gray symbol, and can't really see it clearly at this point, but yeah, that's a camera. That is something you want to get a picture of, and that's something like I will, if I do it while I'm recording this, I will cut it out, and it's just like nice little trophy photos, and it gives you little spots to do like photo shoots with your custom trucks and whatnot, and you can really show them off. You can create some gorgeous trucks in this game, and I can't wait to see the truck that we create for Red Dog Express, and we'll get more of those photos as we go. I will probably share those photos on Instagram, and there's a Facebook page. It's not very active right now, but I'll share them there as well. And yeah, that's all. Yeah, the weigh stations do get frustrating, but they are a necessary evil in the world of truck driving. with a very challenging park. And you see me give up because I realized I have completely screwed myself and could not get it in. But we are now at level 1 and halfway to level 2. So here we level up, and this is where you can pick where you put your things. I would suggest going with high value and fuel economy before going for just in time, fragile, long distance, hazard. Just because the high value and the fuel economy will allow you to really build the money up. And you don't want the distance until you can unlock the sleeper at a certain level. And yeah, so this is our introduction to our new series. You can also get loans, although I am foregoing them for this because I want to build this without touching them. So feel free to comment, let me know what you think, and also comment if it helps you out. Bye everybody.